My name's Kojo Lee, and I'm hungry for justice. Um, what is Hunger for Justice? Hunger for Justice is a campaign started by Baxter. He went 140 days not having any solid foods because he was at his wit's end trying different things to raise awareness to the issues we have in our current social setting. And just outside, you see it. In the world, you see it. Um, why I got involved with it is to support our unsung heroes. Baba Baxter, I met him just a short while, but the impact he has on my life is profound. He, for example, like right now, there's a big media blitz, rightfully so, what's going on in Flint, the water crisis. Last year, Baba Baxter walked to Flint, Michigan, with other people. I'm not sure how many exactly, but he and his peer group knew of this situation last year, and he decided to take matter to his own hand, and they walked 70 miles to Flint. And things like that, you're not going to hear about during this whole Flint scandal, but it happened, and these are the people who we have to promote. These are the true warriors who don't need a camera to do things. And those are the real ones who actually create change. Another aspect to this is that, the media brainwashes us, which is why we're all focused, myself included, on Flint now. Where 2-3 months ago, it was going on, but no one knew about it. And so part of it, we're hoping to create a national buzz with this hunger for justice movement, and that if more of us participate in it, we put it on social media, it goes viral, the media catches on to it, they want to know what it's about, and then we have true warriors like Baba Baxter, who also, with 9 other people, blocked water cutoff trucks when it came to neighborhoods to cut off people's water. They will block them and just, you're not coming in this neighborhood. And imagine if these type of people get national media attention. This is what, in my opinion, is missing from our movement. We have a lot of people. I love all my people doing this work, but there's a lot of people who just get in front of the camera. And if there's no camera, they're not doing anything. And these are not, they don't have the same impact as somebody like Baba Baxter. Another aspect of this movement is the discipline. A lot of us, we want to do things, we want to create change, but there's something that blocks us from actually doing it. And a lot of it is just discipline, staying committed, being dedicated. So, fasting is a way to focus on discipline. It's a mental thing, it's a spiritual thing, and it's a physical thing, but it starts in the mind. And also the last aspect of it is I fast 2 times a year at least, and it's health. Fasting is health aspect, and I'm gonna get into some of the health aspects of fasting. So, some of us may or may not know that the energy that you use the most throughout the day is digesting your food. For those that eat real food too, if you're eating, stuff that's not real food, synthetic stuff, fast food, things pumped with chemicals, hormones, you're going to use even more energy to digest your food. And so if you actually take that energy back from your digestive system, it goes through your body to do other things, because there's an energy that permeates all of us, which is infinite intelligence. So it's just, your body just knows what to do without you thinking about it. Just like trees know to grow without us thinking about it. There's an intelligence, whether you believe it or not. It's there. That's why your liver knows what to do without you thinking about it. So again, when you take that power from your digestive system, your infinite intelligence does other things with it. And one of the things it does, it clears your mind, and it connects your spirit. So you start having, one time I fast and I just started crying from joy, just from sheer joy. I was happy to be alive, things like that. Things we forget about, because these thoughts don't come to us because we're so busy digesting our food, that the energy that it takes to have that thought, and not to have it, but to realize it and to embrace it, is spent, digesting crap that we eat, or even sometimes just detoxing the things in the water, things in the air. So once we take some time not to eat, we get this energy back. I got my notes here in case you're checking what's going on over here. Another thing I get from fasting is amazing sleep. Like I sleep real good, real deep, and just I need less sleep. I notice when I fast because again I need less rejuvenation because my body didn't use a lot of energy. It feels great to fast. If you haven't ever fasted, it feels great. At first, it's difficult because the mind has to go through the process of breaking away from the addiction to eating. What addiction is energy going down the same neuron network in your mind or in your body, wherever you have neuron networks all throughout. Because that's what nerves basically are. And once the energy decides it's going to go a different way, or you tell it to go a different way, there's a resistance to it. And so once you overcome that, it feels great fast. I promise you, you will not regret it. And connected to spirit too, we get back purposeful. We get back in tune with our higher selves, and we balance a lot of us live in our bodies, which is what we are. We are part of this animal self, but our spirit has a body. Our body doesn't have a spirit. The body goes back to the soil, and the spirit goes back from which it came. And so to get back in touch with who you are, now we can start talking about again the purpose of what some of the things I am really focused on in my life, and what it is that I do what I do, thanks to having a lot of spirit guides in my life to help me stay focused. So on the backside here, I have some of the things that I feel is very important to talk about. I'll start with, I think, the highest, in my opinion, what creates the rest to an extent is the corporate greed and government greed. Once we start figuring out what this game they're playing with us, we see how it ties into our list, like racism. Racism, the money in this country, all these companies like JP, Morgan, different, a lot of companies benefited from slavery, and so therefore that culture is still there, that foundation. You can't have a new building without replacing the foundation. It's impossible. You have to tear everything down, start the foundation again. So if we don't address the corporate greed and address the history of our corporation, racism, classism, those are the big two in my opinion. And then sexism is very important as well, because as women are starting to, or have always been, in my opinion, the foundation of society. They bring the children. Sometimes the men run away, but the women, they not only have to stay, but they choose to stay. It's something in their innate nature. And because of that, corporations take advantage of that. Women have if you're lucky, you get 6 weeks off of work after you have a child, and that's just crazy. And I was talking about another thing I have here: attack on family structure. How can a child be protected when the mother and the father are always at work trying to make some rich guy money? So attacking on the family structure, which also goes into racism. We started looking at the projects. Men. I don't know if people know this, but when the project first started, the woman only could move in if she did not have a husband or man in her life. That was you had to get government. You wanted government aid. These are the rules. The rules were the man, he can provide for you. You don't need it. So there was this incentive not to have a man around. And from that day forth, there's been a big push to break down. It's always been a big push. Even in slavery, they would tear families apart intentionally. They would take the babies out of the mother's womb. Things like that. Again, you're just attacking the family structure. Again, I want to reiterate this. Women should be tending to their children, and they should have a man to help them. And then when you're going back to work after 6 weeks or after a couple of days, the woman goes through so much emotional pain, and the child goes through so much emotional suffering that it's almost impossible to have a healthy society. When you really look at it, it's virtually impossible. Let's see, any points I didn't hit. The classism thing is, I think, kind of goes swept under the rug, especially by our people, rightfully so to an extent. I mean, I'll say I understand it. Maybe not rightfully so, but I understand it. But classism is very on par. It's getting very close on par with racism, because For example, the chemtrails. They spray chemtrails in certain areas, and they don't care what color you are. It's about class. It's about also having to know how to remove some of these toxins out of our bodies. Which, when you have money, you have access to so much medical treatments, holistic medical treatments that insurance doesn't cover. But classism is a real thing, and I want to hit race real quick, because one thing I always like to express: race is not even a real thing, because the word race did not come into existence how I use it today. What happened was, when slaves came to this country, they started to have empathy with indentured servants, which were white people here working similar as slaves were, and because they were starting to actually get close and family-like, the idea of race came into play, and they used religion and the story of Ham in the Bible and the black curse and all this crap to separate those two groups of people, so that the same people who were doing similar work, now the white people felt superior because they were white. And then there was the birth of white supremacy. Not the birth of it, but how we know it is today, where you can be in the trailer parks or wherever in the neighborhood where everybody's broke, but somehow the white people still feel better than the black people. It's just something ingrained in our society. But I want to say again, race, they used the word race intentionally because they knew it would create competition. And so I'm just again expressing that classism and racism are very tied together. And really the only thing separates them is this idea that, there's actually a race, there's a competition here on this planet. Let's see. Oh, and of course, one thing I haven't talked about, which is again part of this, the food and water rights. Like, we live on a planet that is abundant, and the animals live freely. They do as they please. Humans have to pay for everything. It's crazy. Food is a human right. Water is a human right. Shelter is a human right. And as long as people don't have access to it, there will always be criminals. There will always be competition, because people won't see each other as equal. People always look and say, "Oh, I got this. He don't have that. Who's going to give him that? I'm not giving him that. What happened to his family? Blah 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 blah." And so, the way we collectively decide to live creates what we see. And one thing that a lot of people don't like to swallow this pill: there's no society and there's no government. We are government and we are society. It's just like somebody can walk in your house and smack you in the face. It's up to you how you respond to it. If they're going to try to smack you again. Now, they may try to smack you again, but if you fight them back, you're less likely to smack you. A lot of people just say, "Oh, there's nothing we can do." And so we govern ourselves to allow us to be governed, if you see what I'm saying. In addition, just like society, it's not some big blob of society out there doing all these things. It's a bunch of small individuals who collectively make society. So you are part of society. I'm a part of society. So when we start saying, "Oh, society's fault," we're blaming ourselves. We're blaming ourselves. There is nothing but individuals, selves, what we call ourselves selves, and we have to organize to be an organ that has a function. And that's what we haven't done yet. Collectively. America's a big social experiment. It's the polar opposite of China. But that's a whole different topic. But again, hungry for justice. I'm with you, Baba Baxter. One love.